These are the lies you are telling yourself when it comes to money that is keeping you broke, keeping you struggling, keeping you in a state of adversity, and we are here to help you overcome those. What's going on? My name is Tony Stephan, together with my wife, Andrea Stephan. We have built 3 multi-million-dollar companies from scratch. We own 258 rental properties as private investors, just a husband and wife duo. We have done extremely well financially, and we are here to help you get to your goals with real estate investing. So many times we get people who reach out and they're like, I just want to buy apartments. I want to go big. I want to go buy all these rental properties. But really, as we start to unpack it with them, either as a real estate brokerage client or as a mentorship client, we start to really look into it and we find out they're really not taking care of their own financial situation well. So we wanted to do this episode to help you make sure you are taking care of your money, because there's 3 rules to money. You have to learn how to get money, and that's what we did early on in our career. I started an online coaching and telehealth business as a registered dietitian. We never thought about real estate investing. We never thought about building some massive real estate portfolio. It was literally just earn money. Then we have to protect money. You can't spend more than you make. You can make millions of dollars a year. If you spend over that, you'll never achieve financial freedom. And then you get to learn how to multiply money, which is real estate investing. It allows you to use the same capital over and over, expand your wealth, expand your net worth, expand your cash flow, all those things. But we see so many people who just want to skip steps 1 and 2. So we want to go over today talking about money, how to protect yourself. And I think the first thing people need to stop doing is stop lying to themselves about the situation they're in. And we want to be very transparent with you guys, and we're not always just here to show you the wins. We're here to tell you what we've gone through too, so you guys can learn. 2022 was a year of transition for us. I had built that coaching program up. That business made about $2 million a year at very high profit margins, 85% profit, 90% profit. I knew I was done. I knew we had to transition out. The runway just wasn't there to do this for the next 30 years. And it's funny enough, the online coaching business is now it's in turmoil. You're seeing a lot of people in 2025 saying, I'm having the worst years ever. I don't want to say it's overly saturated because the cream always rises to the top. But back in 2016, no one was doing it. Right. 2025, you literally, and it was like registered dietitians started doing online coaching and fitness professionals, people with degrees and just credentials behind them. Now it's like literally, I was in prison a week ago. I'm in shape. I can start coaching people. I knew we had to get out. I knew we had to go to real estate. So we ended up shutting that mastermind down. And then, your income goes from a level of up here, it comes down. Right. 2022 was a tough year. We had to really have some very hard conversations together. Yeah. We had to own up to what was going on. We knew we had faith, right? This isn't going to last. And we're taking 1 step intentionally backwards to take 4 steps forward. Right. Doesn't negate that it was hard. But if you remember, I know you remember, we had to have some very hard conversations. We had to look at, okay, how much do we have in the bank? Right. Okay, how much is our income now? Here's what it used to be. Right. Here's what it is now. We had to start getting rid of things, right? We got rid of the personal training. We got rid of we canceled trips.
I think we booked 3 or 4 trips. I know we canceled them all, but then we'd book another one and we're like, nope, not ready to do it.
What I'm getting to is we were honest with ourselves about the situation, right? We didn't ignore the situation we were in and continue spending and just it'll be fine, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. Because for that year, we had to tighten the belt before we could expand again. Right. And now we're here. I mean, we just spent 3 months in California because we wanted to. Right. Talk about is that hard for you to have to be like, hey, let's tighten the belt a little bit? Did you feel demotivated or kind of depressed? Hey man, it was your job to figure this all out. You had this great thing. Why are you shutting this thing down? Because I want to give perspective to maybe someone listening to this who's in that position of transition and change, and they need to tighten the belt.
Yeah, demotivated, definitely not the word. I mean, I think if anything, we definitely worked harder. We were definitely motivated. It didn't mean those days weren't hard, but we were motivated because we knew what the path was, right? We had a clear step what's next, but that didn't mean we had to tighten up on our finances any way we could because we were going another route in our business. So
I feel like a lot of people would hide that.
Right.
And we call it financial infidelity. If you're listening to this, do you have financial infidelity? There's infidelity, right? But then there's financial infidelity. You hide expenses and money things from your partner.
Or you just pretend it's not going on. So you're lying to yourself. So you and your partner might be on the same page, but you're just lying to yourself of the income's staying the same, or it's not that expensive.
Right. Right.
Things like that.
I think they know the income's coming down. Like if you're a business owner, you know when you're making less money, but they just keep spending.
The same way.
Yeah,
right?
they keep spending the same way because they don't want to admit that I might have to adjust or refine it. And like we've had people, tell us like, hey, I didn't tell my partner I signed up for this program, or hey, I didn't tell my partner I bought this rental property. What would you do if I did that to you? If I was like, hey, I made this $50,000 investment or $100,000 investment 3 months into it and I didn't tell you?
Yeah, I don't think I'd be too thrilled about that. I mean, any like big decision like that, I think needs to be discussed as partners.
Why do people not discuss it?
Maybe because they don't actually believe in what they're putting their money into.
Or their partner doesn't believe in it?
Right, yeah, one or the other. I mean, there's something there that maybe like the support and the communication isn't there. Or they don't always talk about like big topics, right? They always get like pushed down.
We're just like have a fun relationship. Yeah, it's fun to be in a relationship when you're going on date. We call it like the honeymoon, right? Like in the beginning, right? Going on a bunch of dates together. You go shopping all the time. You go to nice dinners all the time. You're always going on trips.
Right.
But like, can you and your partner go through like a rough period of time together?
Mm-hmm.
Number one cause of divorce is money, right? And it's usually a lack of money or disagreements with money. So like, it's vital as a partnership, you have to talk about money and not just when money's going good. Like you have to, like we sat down in that dark time and we made a plan.
Right.
We made a budget, right? Remember you said you would wake up in the middle of the night. You're like, I'm crunching numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, we literally got to the point where we're like, dude, if we have to sell our house, we'll go back. Beauty of owning rental properties, we'll go back to our old home.
Right.
We still had that.
Yeah.
Because we live in a well over $1 million home. It's a beautiful property, a lot more expensive than $350,000 property, whatever our first one was. I feel like a lot of people wouldn't make a plan.
Yeah, I think that's just like you said, making the plan and just being on the same page. You just can't lie to yourself or lie to your partner about it. It's the biggest thing. Yeah.
Yeah, when you're going through a rough time. And something I've heard recently I really love is the path to heaven is hell and the path to hell is heaven. Meaning that the path to heaven is doing the hard, difficult, uncomfortable things. Right? It is uncomfortable to sit with your partner and be like, we're making less money. We need to cut things. We need to give up the personal training. We need to give up the eating out as much. That trip to Hawaii, we need to cancel it.
Right.
Conversely, the path to hell is heaven. Like, no, we're good. Let's just keep going and let's I'm a little nervous. I deserve that Louis Vuitton because I feel that type of way today.
Yeah.
Right. And then they just dig themselves in this hole. Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's like the easiest way to just keep like going down a downward spiral. I think it's just to our habits throughout the entire way, right? Like we've never been the type that's like overspending, right? So yes, it was, I guess they were difficult conversations, but it wasn't something that was just so unnatural to us as well, right? We've always been responsible with our finances. So then to sit down and say, okay, now our budget is looking differently, is looking different now. It was a little bit easier to do that, I think. So, because we always discussed our finances and we never lived beyond our means.
Yeah. Which brings me to the next lie that people tell themselves is, I don't need a budget. You could be making millions of dollars.
I've always said that to you.
You did. And then Ben Malek confirmed it that even millionaire needs a budget, right? And, we're blessed. We do extremely well in life, but we've constantly lived on budgets. But I want to pull back to like very early on when I first started my business. You were a school teacher. You were then quit your job as a school teacher. How do you set a budget like early on? Like, what did you do? How does that work for you?
Yeah, I mean, I remember when you started your business, I was a teacher and then I nannied and tutored at the same time.
Yeah.
So I felt like in the early off, like out of college, we always had extra income coming in, which was just kind of like the cherry on top of, especially when you started your business, right? Like uncertainty. So I remember that it was like, well, as long as my salary covers our living expenses, our mortgage, our cars, food, your necessities, we're good, right? And then everything else would be cherry on top.
Yeah. When I first start with a student, like a mentorship client, the first thing I have them do is create a personal financial statement and a net worth chart. And that's something we did early on in the business.
Yeah.
There wasn't a whole lot to put on there, but a personal financial statement is everything you own minus everything you owe. And it gives you this basic level of understanding, because what gets measured gets results, right? We always say data drives decisions in our business. It gives you this basic level of financial understanding to where you see every month, what am I spending my money on, right? Yeah. And if your business is small, it's really simple to track, right? What am I spending my money on? Where am I putting my money? Is my money going towards investments or is it going towards liabilities? Does my net worth, which is just a barometer of your financial health, it's kind of like a checkup, right? At the doctor, like your physical health. Well, there's your financial health. Your net worth is this barometer of your financial health. And if it's going up every month, you're being a good steward of your money.
Yeah.
We said basic step one is make money and protect money. If your net worth is going down, or you go a whole year and your net worth has not moved, you're either not making enough money, but you've seen people who, don't have massive salaries and massive incomes do extremely well with being able to own rental properties. You're probably not managing your money well.
That probably comes down to it too. And I remember in the beginning, we still track our personal finances, but I would even get down to like in those times. And when we first started, like with you leaving your job and starting a business, and mine being the only, at that point, was like the only predictable income, right? Getting even down is like, how much am I spending at Target? How much am I spending at like this grocery store? How much did I spend buying clothes? Because and like what stores? Because then it's like, okay, when you're looking at saving for that amount and being on a budget, like being that specific always helped too. Because then I'm like, I don't really need to spend $300 extra at Target. But it really helped, and it just kind of like trained you to be a little bit more responsible with your funds, I think.
I love that you got granular with it. You have to. In the beginning, when you're not managing millions of dollars of net worth and assets, if you don't have money, you have time. And then when you have money, you don't have time, right? So you have to buy back your time. So in the beginning, you have to use your time. That's probably why you're so good at managing the expenses in a rental property at a granular level. And that's why it's kind of like hitting an epiphany here. It's like, I forgot you used to be like that. Because I always joke, I'm like, how are you able to like manage these budgets so tightly and improve these NOI so much? All to add to the reason I'm teaching this to you guys listening to this is how you manage your money is going to be how you manage your rental properties. If you're loose and willy-nilly with your own personal budget, do you think they're going to be tight with managing a rental property? And managing a rental property comes down to managing the income and the expenses. What are some of the dumb things you see clients like spend their money on that want to invest in real estate, but like maybe aren't the best stewards with their money?
I think it's just really easy nowadays. You can charge up 20 credit cards. You can get whatever.
They all give you 0 interest for the first year. Guys, like that is no different than the drug dealer giving you the first hit for free. Like you understand that, right? They're not doing it because they want to help you. They're doing it because they want you to get used to and addicted to, because as humans, we have a high level of tolerance, and whatever we get used to, we will continue doing. They want you to get used to schwacking that card for that first year and load it up. And then that 12 months goes by like this, and you go, look, my payments only went from $350 to $450, no big deal, or $500, no big deal. It is a drug that they are giving you to get you hooked.
I'd say that maxing out credit cards, cars that, again, like the ratio to the income that they're making, sure, you can get the loan for it, but it's like if you looked at it just on paper, like you're saying, like it's very simple, like income minus expenses, like it's almost like half their income for the car payment. And it's like, how did you get that, right?
Just because you can go get the doesn't mean you should go get the BMW. We never went above our means, and that was a big when people are like, how did you guys buy all this real estate without partners and investors? Because we scrutinized every dollar that came in, and you guys can learn to do the same. That's what we're doing here. And so we're doing this not just to say what helped us win, because we want you guys to win. We're getting comments on there. We hit 20,000 subscribers, and we're getting comments on there, and people are like, hey, I'm doing this. Hey, I bought my first property. Hey, I'm buying my next. I'm doing my first refinance. So we love hearing that from you guys. So we're trying to go deeper than just the real estate side of things and open up like our life and our money and our marriage and show you, because we want you guys to win with us. So keep dropping those wins, keep sharing that with us. If you're getting value from this episode, let us know, leave a comment below. The next lie people tell themselves is that they can save their way to wealth. If you're broke, you probably don't have a savings problem, you have an income problem, right? You're just not making enough money. And once you start making money and accumulating money, this was us in like 2020, 2021, business is booming, right? Income is pouring in. Well, I'm just stocking money away in a Chase savings account, which is one of the worst things I've ever done. Tell you guys, get out of the big banks, work with local credit unions and banks, because they will go to bat for you. Shout out to Financial Plus Credit Union in Flint, Michigan. Never been to Flint, Michigan, but they've been phenomenal. The things they give us is just amazing, right? I mean, business lines of credit, preferred rates, money market accounts, right? That always beats everywhere else. So I wish I would have built a relationship with a local credit union sooner that will go to bat, that loves local entrepreneurs. So do that. Don't give your money to Chase Bank because you're a nobody to them. But we had well over, $1 million just sitting with no plan. And what I started to learn really quickly is you're losing money every day due to inflation, right? The power of that money is being broken down. But even if you have $1 million earning 5% interest a year, that's $50,000.
Right.
Can you do anything with $50,000 before taxes?
Before taxes?
You're a millionaire on paper. You are a millionaire. The phrase that everyone shoots for.
Right.
I'm a millionaire. But that $1 million earning you 5% a year, which is a great return, right? Safe, secure, like money market or dividend, just paying it to you. $50,000 before taxes. You're broke. I'll say it for you. You're broke. You can't do anything with 50 grand before tax. We'll call it 42,000, 40,000.
Right.
Bro, you're living out of scarcity.
Yeah.
You are. When you are living on a very, very fixed budget, you're on scarcity. So people think they're going to accumulate X amount of real estate, X amount of money, quit my job and never earn a dollar again.
Right.
You are living out of scarcity because every month or day or week, you feel like that what you built is slipping away. That's why they say so many retired people end up getting other jobs.
Right.
Because they're more afraid to outlive their money. They're more afraid of, I'm going to live longer than my money lives.
Yeah.
You think that's a good feeling every day?
Probably
Like,
not.
God damn, I hope I don't, I'm like, how do we get to be 100 years
Right.
old? These people are like, God dang, I've got about 7 years left of my money.
Right. Probably not a fun feeling. No.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I don't think that's like any way to live. And I think like just an example that we've always gone by, like anytime even though we've always had these like tight budgets and we don't overspend and we live below our means, we've also pushed ourselves to spend money in the right areas to always then grow. Because there have been times where we've invested in the coach or the rental property or something else to grow the other businesses. And we're like, okay, so then that dropped us down to this, right? This amount in the bank, right? But then it always like whatever amount that exceeded what we expected. Anytime we got a little uncomfortable, we always then met that with making more money or making more impact or something like that.
That's the lie here is that you think if I just accumulate $5 million, I'm done earning, right? That's why we love real estate investing. Because like Andrew said, we get to a surplus of money in the bank. Then we say, okay, we've hit this dollar amount. We need to deploy that money.
Right.
Can we go buy an apartment building? Yes, perfect. I love real estate because it locks your money away. You cannot get to it.
Right.
You cannot spend it because there's a direct correlation. The more money you have sitting in a bank account, the more you're just going to go spend.
Right.
It's like, I've got this money just sitting here, right? So I love real estate with that. Or we say, okay, is there a coaching event? Is there a mastermind we can join to? Whatever. Okay, is there something we can invest in our business? Recently, we hired a whole new team member.
Right.
That's a $70,000 a year salary.
Right.
That is an investment. Hey, can we go get more content? Hey, we're doing 2 YouTubes a week. Can we do 4 YouTubes a week? Right? Can we upgrade the level of things? So we're always looking at money now. Our money's job is to go out there and bring more money back. So it's not just accumulate and stop.
Right.
You should never stop earning. I know ultra wealthy people. Ultra wealthy. I mean, we're talking ultra high net worth, which is $30 million and above. You're talking about 1% or less of the population, probably fractional of that, and they are earning money. One guy I know who's very successful, very well off, he just launched a whole new juice company. This dude does not need to do a damn thing. And I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen the bank statement. I've never seen that much money in an account before.
Right.
I mean, we're talking, I don't know how many digits.
Yeah.
But ton of money. And he just launched a whole new juice company. Why? Because he wants to.
Right.
He wants to create. He wants to do it. I mean, this guy just launched a juice company. And it's funny, and when he talked about it, he said, everyone told me not to do it, but I did it because I wanted to.
Right.
If he's not stopping, why are you? Why are you thinking you're going to go get 3 rental properties and stop?
Right.
And stop earning money, stop producing, stop creating, stop adding value. Like, we're doing this show not to make money. Like, yes, I want you to work with Stephan Group Brokerage. Yes, join the coaching program, join the mastermind to give. We want to give. Like, what's the point of doing all this? And I'm just going to sit all day and watch my money trickle down.
Right.
What a empty, scary feeling. On Succession, I know you hate that show.
Well.
The kid on there goes, 5 million's the worst. Talking about like the net worth, because the kid was like, I'm going to inherit 5 million.
Okay.
the ultra wealthy Roy family. And the guy, Connor, goes, 5 million's the worst. Because you have too much money to where you never want to work again.
Yeah.
But you don't have enough money to say, fuck it, I'm done for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And it's like so true. It's like we get to this point of like, you've accumulated a certain level of wealth. You can't just not do anything ever again. So I thought that was really good. Another lie you guys tell yourself is you don't need to know about personal finance. You don't need to understand personal finance, investing, bank accounts. Well, I've got a financial advisor or my mom looks at it or whatever. It's like, you have to be your financial advisor.
Yeah.
You can utilize people, but no one should be smarter when it comes to your money than you.
Right.
You have to become educated. Something I do, is look at the bank accounts daily.
Yeah. I mean, even just for the fact of like, okay, there's fees that come in, there's charges that, I mean, just a couple weeks ago, you caught something, you're like, did you?
Rhapsody.
Yeah.
I'm like Napster. I'm like Napster $19.99.
Right. Which could have just been like a subscription started and you don't even
Is
know.
Napster still around?
I don't know.
Why would you pay for downloading music? It's free.
I don't know.
Talk about an industry that got eroded.
Yeah.
Right. Rhapsody and Napster and all that. Run a profit and loss statement on your life. If right now you are new, you're looking to get into investing, you're looking to build wealth, run a profit and loss statement on your last year personally. How much did you make? How much did you spend?
Right.
Are you profitable? Is your life profitable? Or is your life digging you into a hole? You're like, man, I accumulated more credit card debt, and there's good debt and bad debt. Like when I started my business, I accumulated credit card debt.
Right.
But I paid it off very quickly because I built a business that ended up making $6 million in 4 years.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what
and
I mean?
that's why it's important to be tracking exactly what you're putting on there. Because if it's something like coaching or something for like an investment, or maybe you're in college and you're putting like your books and your classes on there, then that's what it should be used for. But but when you're going a little bit, when you're spending it on things that you don't need,
Stupid
it's
stuff.
very easy to do that.
Liabilities, right? So there's real estate investing, there's stocks, there's 401ks, there's cryptos. Like, do your due diligence, do your research. Everything is learnable out there. There's YouTube, there's podcasts, there's books out there. Real estate investing worked for us because I believed in it. It just made the most sense to me. I could understand it. I could understand. I buy a building, I improve the building, it's worth more money. The stock market, we have some money in, but I'll be honest, it makes no sense to me. And I'm, again, probably going to sell it all and just get out of the stock market. 401k never made sense to me. Why am I going to want to retire at age 65? Cryptocurrency, I can't understand it whatsoever, and the risk and the uncertainty with it doesn't make sense to me. Not saying that's what you need to do, but you need to do your own due diligence. You need to become financially literate. Don't just buy real estate because Tony and Andrea buy real estate. Don't just buy crypto because your friend Bob buys crypto. Don't just go do a 401k because that's what every CPA is going to tell you to do. Every financial advisor is going to tell you to do. Go do a 401k. Don't go do a... Well, why? Ask them why. Why should I do it? Do you want to retire at 65 or do you want to live a great life?
Right.
Do you need benefits now or do you need benefits at 65? Right? So be able to look at that. Don't blindly follow the pack. You have to become educated. Education precedes awareness and awareness precedes change. But if you're not educated, you're just like listening to what your mom and dad told you to do. Did your mom and dad ever tell you to buy real estate? Because my dad sure did. He's like, those are tenants. They're not going to pay. They're going to call you.
Exactly.
Shit, I hope someone will call me. If they call me, that means they owe me money, right? So you have to be able to think for yourself. And we see people who make good money and they go, oh, just turn it over to so-and-so at Morgan Stanley or a JP Morgan, right? The last lie that you're telling yourself is you make enough money and you can live below your means, or you'll make more money in the future so it doesn't matter now. How important is this? Like we've talked about it here. We have always lived below our means. We now today live significantly below our means. Just the other day we were looking at, let's look at homes. Because, it's a fun thing to do is look at extravagant things. Look at buying a new home. I would buy a new home every year because it's just fun. I like to move. I like change. But we said, you know what? If we buy a new home at this new value, our payment's going to go up 3 times as much. That is going to put outward pressure on us that we don't need, right? So like, I don't care telling people our all-in payment is about $7,000. That's mortgage, taxes, insurance, because we put a lot of money down on our house. We were one of those people that got the 3% rate and now don't want to sell. So for our payment to go from $7,000 a month to $28,000 puts a whole lot of pressure. That robs money from us to go do things, to go travel and experience. But also, like I said, we just hired a new team member. You might think differently about paying for that extra salary when you're like, my house payment is so freaking much every single month, right? So it's about putting more money into your business, your assets, your team, your education than the crap you own.
Right. Yeah, no, I think that's just really important to just like, again, always be analyzing what you're spending your money on, and just don't overspend. Like, don't get caught up on like the emotion of it. I mean, there's a lot behind it that people will like, they'll shop like emotionally and things like that. Like there's no fulfillment in that, right? And even too, like with experiences, right? Like we did sacrifice that year to not go on any trips and cancel our trips that we were excited about, right? Because that was even too like off of COVID, right? So like people that weren't traveling for 3-4 years, and then on top of that, we're like, okay, we're ready, like everything's opening back up, we can travel again. We're like, well, so you start seeing everyone else traveling and in Europe and all over the place because you can travel again, and we're like, no, we need to like stay where we're at, stay like focused. And like, I mean, I know for me personally, I remember feeling that because I'm like, everyone started traveling again, and I was like, we can't. So but at the end of the day, that really set us up, and I think was like a big turning point for us as well.
Discipline is deciding, what do I not want now versus what do I want most. Now here we are in 2025, and we flew our dogs out here to California for 3 months,
right?
But we had to do that temporary discipline, deciding what we knew, what we wanted most versus what we wanted right in that moment.
Right.
So that meant sacrificing some trips, that meant sacrificing some nights out, and just that temporary fun. And I think that's where most people get caught up, as they say, but I want this now,
right?
I want this right now. I've had a bad day, I want that Louis bag now,
right?
Nobody cares what clothes you wear. It's an interesting thing, and how you pay for a Lamborghini or how you pay for a liability really matters. I've openly said I would never have bought a Lamborghini had we worked jobs, or if we just owned a business that made a ton of money. Would never do that. It's paid for by an asset. So discipline is deciding what you guys want most versus what you want right now. Here's a basic rule to live by: 40-30-30, right? 40% of your income to living, right? Your mortgage, your rent, your groceries, your lifestyle, whatever. 30%, if you're a high income earner, is going to the IRS, right?
Right.
So if you're giving 30, until you learn the game that we play, right? The multifamily game, go check out my other videos of how we eliminate our tax bill by owning multifamily real estate. We pay 0 to the IRS legally. So that's the end game. But starting off, we would pay 35%. If you're giving 30% to the IRS, you need to give 30% to yourself, right? So 30% to invest into you, your education, assets, your business, whatever. Where most people go 70% lifestyle, scrounge to pay the IRS. I'm definitely talking more like entrepreneur, because when you're an employee, they just take it out of your check. They don't trust you enough. The entrepreneur, like, hey, we trust you to go make your money and pay your tax bill. Then they're scrounging to pay the IRS, and they leave 0 for themselves to actually invest into growth. So follow the 40-30-30. Get ahead. Those are the lies you are telling yourself that are keeping you broke. And we shared some of our personal journey here, some of our struggles to hopefully help you in yours. As always, thank you so much for being here. Hey, if you made it to the end, I would love for you to drop a meaningful comment. Which one resonated the most with you? Have you experienced some of the things we've experienced? Drop in the comment section. If you're looking for free resources, get my free masterclass all about real estate investing, get my due diligence checklist, and get my book, The New Rules to Financial Freedom. We actually talk a lot about money and money mindset. So that's for $19 on Amazon. You can get it absolutely free. If you enjoy this content, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. YouTube said over 70% of you guys who are watching this are not subscribed, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. And as always, if you're looking to invest in real estate and want to work with the Stephan Group Real Estate Brokerage, click the link in the description. If you're looking to buy your first or next multifamily deal and you want one-on-one help and mentorship, click the link in the description to learn more about my mentorship program. Until next time, we'll talk soon. Thanks.